Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Computer Applications Online at Ozarka College. In this video, this is going to be part 2 for PowerPoint Module 1. So if you haven't already worked through the first part of Module 1 and watched the first video for Module 1, you'll need to go ahead and do that first before going through the steps in this video. In this second part of PowerPoint Module 1, I'm going to take you through pages PPT 1-36 through the end of the module. Okay, so I'm going to start on page PPT 1-36, and basically in this last part of the module, we're going to insert the pictures onto the slides that we created in the first part of the module, and we're going to do some additional formatting to the slides, and we're going to add some notes to a couple of the slides and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started here. So, and actually it talks about on page 1-36 how to insert pictures. And there are really two ways you can insert pictures on a slide. You can either insert a picture just kind of floating over the slide, not in any particular placeholder, but just on a slide that has no content placeholder, and then move it into place where you want it. And some of our slides we're going to do that way. And then one of our slides we're going to actually insert the picture into a content placeholder. Okay, so you can do it either way, and there are advantages and disadvantages to each one. We'll kind of talk about that as we go through and add the pictures. On page 1-36, it talks about the insert picture dialog box, and it's basically the same insert picture dialog box that we used in Microsoft Word to insert pictures on the flyer and so forth. So you should already be familiar with it. So now the pictures that you need for this module are available in my Ozarka. So before you actually do the last part of this module where you insert the pictures, if you haven't already done so, you'll need to go to my Ozarka, go to this course, obviously, CPSI 1003, and go to the activities page. Alright, and you'll have to, under week 12, you'll have to click the PowerPoint Module 1 Assignment 1 link, and scroll down to the bottom of the page under Resources, under the Resources heading, and especially Additional Resources, you'll see a link to each one of the picture files that you need. There are actually, looks like 6 of them, 6 pictures that you'll need. So to save each one, you'll just right click on the link and then click Save Link As, and the Save Link or the Save As dialog box will open. You'll type in the file name, basically the name that you see down here. So for example, this one would be support PPT1 dash or _1 _ obedience class, and you would type that into the file name box and then navigate in the upper pane wherever you want to save the data files. Basically, you could save them in the same place that you've been saving them, other data files this semester, as long as you're able. It really doesn't matter where you save the data files. It just matters that you're able to access them when we get ready to insert them on the slides in just a few minutes. Okay, so you'll do that for each one of those pictures. You'll right click, click Save Link As, and save each one of these pictures to your computer. Okay, then you'll go back to your PowerPoint presentation here. What we want to do is make sure that we're on slide 1. Remember, you can use the slide tab over here to use the thumbnail over here on the left hand side in normal view to click on the slide that you want to move to. So we need to be on slide 1, which is the title slide. Alright, and with slide 1 selected, we're going to click the Pictures button on the Insert tab, so we're going to need to click on the Insert tab up on the ribbon. And just like we learned how to do in Microsoft Word, when we want to insert a picture, we go to Insert and then we click on Pictures. Okay, and it'll open up the Insert Picture dialog box, and this is where we're going to navigate to where we saved those pictures earlier from my Ozarka. Alright, and I've got mine saved in a particular folder here that I'm going to navigate to. Alright, and the picture that we want to insert on this slide is called Support PPT1 Puppy Love. Okay, so you're going to find that one in the list there and click on it and then click Insert. Okay, and it'll just insert that picture over the slide. It'll kind of float over the slide itself, and we'll actually go in and resize the picture and move it into place a little bit later. Okay, alright, on page 1-38. On page 1-38, under to insert another picture into a slide without a content placeholder, we're going to click the slide to thumbnail over here on the Slides tab, and we're going to again click Insert up on the ribbon, click Pictures, the Pictures button here. Alright, just like we did a minute ago. And once if you have all your pictures saved in the same folder on your computer, once you access the first one, like we did for slide 1, and we insert that picture, the next time you click the Pictures button on the Insert tab, it will automatically open up the Insert Picture dialog box to that folder where the first picture was. Okay, so it's good if you have them all in the same folder, because then you don't have to navigate each time to find the particular picture that you're inserting. Alright, so on this particular slide, we need to insert the picture called Animal Group. It's Support PPT1 Animal Group. Alright, so we're going to click on that particular file and click Insert, and it'll just insert that picture floating over the slide. Alright, and again, don't worry about the picture right now. We're going to resize it and move it a little bit later. Alright, on the bottom of page 1-38, it wants us to insert another picture into a slide without a content placeholder. So we're going to move to slide 4. Okay, and we're going to insert the picture called Support PPT1 Ear Grooming. Alright, so again, we're going to go to Insert tab, Pictures. We're going to find the picture called Ear Grooming, which is right there, and click on it and then click Insert. Okay, and again, it'll just insert the picture floating over the slide. Alright, so we've got that. Now, on page 1-39, it wants us to insert a picture into a content placeholder. So if you'll notice on slide 3, go ahead and move to slide 3. On slide 3, we have that comparison layout that we applied to this slide, where we have a content placeholder over on the left under the left heading, and then we also have one on the right under the right heading. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the buttons inside these content placeholders to insert the pictures. So on the left content placeholder, we're going to click the Insert Picture button, which is this one right here. Alright, so we're going to click the Pictures button inside the placeholder, and we're going to insert the picture called Support PPT1 Paw Shake. Alright, so we're going to find that in the list. It's this one right here. And then we're going to click the Insert button. Now, one of the advantages in inserting a picture into a placeholder, rather than just inserting it floating over the slide, is that when you insert the picture using the button inside the placeholder, it will resize the picture to fit the placeholder. So it just kind of fits neatly within the placeholder, and then you don't have to worry about trying to resize it and move it later on. Alright. Alright, so now we need to click the Pictures button inside the right placeholder over here. Alright. And that'll open up the Insert Picture dialog box. And then we're going to insert the picture called Support PPT1 Obedience Class. So we're going to click on that particular file name and then click Insert. And again, since we use the button inside the placeholder to insert the picture, it automatically resizes the picture to fit the placeholder. Alright. On the bottom of page 1-39, it talks about resizing pictures, the selection rectangle sizing handles. We've gone through all that before when we inserted pictures in Word. It's basically exactly the same process in PowerPoint. Alright. On page 1-40, it wants us to proportionally resize some pictures. And proportionally just means that we're keeping what's called the aspect ratio of the picture. In other words, the relationship between the height and the width of the picture. Alright? And so what we're going to do, in order to resize a picture proportionally, you use a corner sizing handle. When you use a corner sizing handle, you're changing the height and the width of the picture at the same time. Alright? So anytime it says to proportionally size a picture, always use a corner sizing handle. Alright? And so what we're going to do is move to slide 1. And remember, we inserted that picture floating over the slide. And so we're going to have to resize the picture and then move it into place. And so what you're going to do is click on the picture. You'll notice you'll have the selection rectangle around it, and then also the sizing handles in the corners and also in the middle around the picture. Alright, what we're going to need to do once we have the picture selected is point to the upper right hand corner sizing handle, alright, until the mouse pointer changes to a two-headed arrow. And then you're going to need to look at the picture there on page 1-40 in your book and kind of use that as a guide to how much you're going to need to drag that sizing handle inward and down to resize the picture. Alright, so we're going to basically just kind of look at the picture there at the bottom of page 1-40 as a guide to how much we need to drag that sizing handle down and to the left. And then once you get it pretty close to where it shows it there in the book, just go ahead and release the mouse button. And then what we're going to need to do is on step 3 on the bottom of page 1-40, it gives us the exact dimensions, height and width dimensions that we need to use for this picture. And so what we're going to do is go up here to the height box and on the Picture Tools Format tab up on the ribbon. And this is the same height and width box that we used in Word, basically used the same way. So you're just going to type in 5.21 as the height, and then press Tab, and then type in 7.81 as the width, and then press Enter. And it will resize the picture. And then what we'll need to do is we're going to move the picture later, so don't worry about that yet. On page 1-41, it wants us to resize the picture on slide 2, so we're going to move to slide 2. And we're going to drag basically any of the corner sizing handles and just kind of look at the picture there on page 1-41 and get the picture to pretty close to the same size that you see it there in the picture on page 1-41. So use any of the corner sizing handles and just kind of resize it to about the size that you see there in the picture. And then to get it to the exact dimensions, what you'll do is go up to the Picture Tools Format tab up on the ribbon, and that same height and width box that we used a minute ago, we'll need to click the height box there, type in 5.22, and then press Tab to move down to the width box and type in 8.05 as the width, and then press Enter. Alright, and that resizes that picture on slide 2. Like I said, we'll move it into place later. Okay, so don't worry about that it's covering up your text right now. We'll move it a little bit later on. Alright, on the bottom of page 1-41, it wants us to resize the picture on slide 4. So we're going to move to slide 4. And basically using the same method that we used to resize the other picture, just click the picture on slide 4 so you can see the sizing handles. Just find one of the corner sizing handles and drag that one of the corner sizing handles and get the picture to the approximate size that you see there on the bottom of page 1-41. It doesn't have to be exact, just get it pretty close. And then to get it to the exact dimensions, what you'll do is, just like we did for the other pictures, we'll go up to the height box, type in what it shows there, 5.49, and then press tab and type in 8.24 as the width. Okay, so for each of those pictures, you'll do it just like we did. You'll get it close to the dimensions that we want first with the sizing handle, and then to get it to the exact dimensions, you'll use the height and width boxes on the Picture Tools Format tab. Alright, and you do need to get each picture to the exact dimensions. Alright, on page 1-42, this is where we're going to learn how to move the pictures, because right now a lot of the pictures are covering up our slides, covering up the text on our slides, so we need to move them into place. Alright, so on page 1-42, it wants us to make sure that slide 4 is selected, and we're going to move our mouse somewhere. Go ahead and click the picture if you haven't already, to make sure that it's selected. Make sure that the sizing handles are around it. Then you're going to point to the middle of the picture where the mouse pointer is in the shape of a four-headed arrow, and we're basically going to use drag and drop just like we learned how to use in other programs. And what it wants us to do is use the smart guides to position the picture. Alright, as you drag a picture on a slide in PowerPoint, you'll notice there is a vertical smart guide and a horizontal smart guide, which are just like red dotted lines or dashed lines that basically allow you, it kind of guides you to allow you to position a picture exactly where you want it on the slide in relation to other objects on the slide. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to drag this picture over to the right and kind of below the title there, and kind of position. You want to position the bottom edge of the picture along the bottom edge of the slide. So the bottom edge of the picture should be in line with the bottom edge of the slide, and you'll see the smart guide right at the bottom of the slide, and then that's the horizontal smart guide, or actually that's the vertical smart guide, and then the horizontal smart guide, we want it to be just to the right of the title. All right, kind of just where I have it right there. So you see the red dashed line, which is the smart guide that positions the picture horizontally, the horizontal smart guide, and then you have the one at the bottom, which is the vertical smart guide. So just get those into place there like you see it on the picture there on page 1-42, and then release the mouse button once you get the picture with the smart guides where they're supposed to be there. So the smart guides just allow us to guide the picture into place where we want it on the slide. Alright, and then we're going to click on slide 2, and we're going to click the picture on slide 2, and we're basically going to use the same method that we just used for that picture on slide 4. We're going to use the smart guides as we drag the picture, and you'll have to kind of look and see where it's supposed to be located once we're done moving it, by looking at the picture there on the bottom of page 1-42 in your book. So you're going to drag the picture to the right. Obviously we don't want the picture over our text, so we're going to drag it to the right, and then we're going to use I'm going to drag it up enough to where we see the vertical smart guide appear through the picture and through right underneath where it says preventative care there. Alright, again, you'll have to kind of look at the picture there in your book to get the correct positioning. Alright. And you want the right edge of the picture to be at the right edge of the slide. Alright. You may have to try that a couple of times to get it exactly where you want it. Obviously, you don't want the picture over the slide on the right hand side, and you also don't want it covering up your text. And so the horizontal smart guide should be aligned right at the right edge of the slide, and then the vertical smart guide should be right underneath preventative care. Okay. And again, you can look at the picture there on the bottom of page 1-42 to see where the smart guide should be. Okay. Alright, once you get that picture in place, then on the top of page 1-43, it wants us to click on slide 1 and click the picture. And we're going to drag this picture upward and to the left until the vertical smart guide is displayed through the center of the picture and the horizontal smart guide is displayed along the top of the slide. Alright, so we're going to drag this up and to the right, and again the horizontal smart guide is at the top of the slide, and the vertical smart guide is should be displayed through the center of the picture, like that. Okay. Once you get it into place where you see the smart guides where they're supposed to be, then just release the mouse button. Okay. And just make sure again that the picture is aligned at the top. The top of the picture should be aligned at the top edge of the slide. Alright. And then the picture itself should be in the middle, horizontally. It should be in the middle of the slide there. Okay. Alright. So we've got the picture in place. Then on page 1-43, under to insert another picture into a slide without a content placeholder, we're going to make sure that slide 2, we're going to go ahead and move to slide 2 to make it the slide that we can work on. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert another picture on this slide. Alright, so it's already got one picture, and we've inserted moved that picture where we want it, but now it wants us to insert another picture on that same slide. So we're going to basically use the same method that we used before. We're going to obviously click the slide that we want to insert the picture on, in this case slide 2. We're going to click the Insert tab up on the ribbon. We're going to click the Pictures button, and that'll open up the Insert Picture dialog box. And the name of this picture that we need to insert is Support PPT1 Paw Prints. Alright, so we're going to find that in the list, click on it, and click Insert. And it'll, again, insert floating over your slide, and we'll move it here in just a minute. Alright, on the bottom of page 1-43, it talks about rotating a picture. Alright, that's what we're about to do to this picture that we just inserted. It wants us to position the mouse pointer over the rotate handle. And so we'll have to click the slide first, okay, to select it and have the sizing handles and the rotate handle around it. The rotate handle is actually right above the picture. And what we're going to do is drag the rotate handle clockwise and then move the picture so that the vertical smart guide is displayed through the center of the picture, and the horizontal smart guide is displayed along the bottom of the slide. Alright, so we're going to drag this so that drag that rotate handle clockwise until the picture is now horizontal instead of vertical, okay, where it shows the paw prints going off to the right horizontally, okay. And then what we're going to do to use the smart guides to align it correctly, we're going to make sure the picture is still selected there, and we're going to align it at the bottom so that the smart guide at the bottom is along the bottom of the slide there, and then the other smart guide should be through the center of the other picture, okay. So it should be right there. Alright, just get the bottom should be aligned at the bottom there, and then through the center of the picture, just like that. Alright, and it may take you a little while to get it exactly where you want it, but just keep working on it. And if you want to move the picture by small amounts at a time, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard. If you can get it really close to where it needs to be, then you can use the arrow keys to do that final adjustment to get it exactly where you need it, okay. Alright, so once we've got that done, then on the bottom of page 1-44 it talks about non-proportionally resizing a picture. Alright, and that's what we're about to do on this paw prints picture. Alright, so with the paw prints picture selected and the selection rectangle displayed, we're going to point to the middle sizing handle on the top edge of the picture, okay, just like this, and where the mouse pointer changes to a double arrow, and then we're going to drag the sizing handle inward until the horizontal smart guide is displayed as shown in the picture, okay. So what we're going to need to do, alright, so we're just going to drag that top middle sizing handle down just a little bit until the smart guide appears right below the picture, okay, and then just release the mouse button, and so we've basically non-proportionally resized the picture. And then look up on the height and width box in the size group of the Picture Tools Format tab, and the size should be about 4.8 by 1.14. If yours is not exactly that size, you can always just type it in into the height and width box. So just type in 4.8 in the height box, then press tab, and then type in 1.14 in the width box, and then press enter, okay, and it'll just resize it to that size. Alright, then on the bottom of page 1-45 it wants us to do some more resizing of the picture. So we want to drag the left sizing handle of this paw prints picture, drag the left sizing handle outward until the vertical smart guide is displayed beside the left of the paw print picture, and the sizing handle or crosshair is positioned as shown. So you'll need to kind of look at the picture on the bottom of page 1-45 and use that as your guide. Basically what we're doing is just kind of dragging that middle left sizing handle of the paw prints picture and dragging it over to the left enough so that the smart guide appears immediately to the left of the picture. Alright, so just drag it over just enough to where you see that smart guide appear to the left of the picture, and then just release the mouse button. Okay. Basically what we've done there is we've just kind of changed the size of the paw prints picture to about the same size or the same width as the picture above it. Alright, and the approximate size should be 6.43 by 1.14. So again, if yours is not exactly that size, you can always go up to the height and width box and change it. Alright, and then once you get that done, just click on an empty area of that slide just to deselect it so you can kind of check the positioning of your pictures and make sure that they're all correct, the size and the position. Just make sure they're all correct. If you need to go back and fix anything, just go ahead and do that. Remember, you can use the height and width box to get the pictures to the exact size that it shows in the book. Alright, on page 1-46, it wants us to move to another slide in normal view. So we're going to click the slide 3 thumbnail to move to slide 3. And then on the bottom of page 1-46, it wants us to save. Click the save button on the quick access toolbar to save this presentation with the same name that we used before, which was Pet Hospital. So we're just going to click the save button. And remember, if you've already saved a file once and then you click the save button, it will just basically save with the same name and the same location that we chose before. Alright, and on page 1-47 and continues on to page 1-48, it shows you how to close out of a PowerPoint file and then reopen it. I'm going to skip over that just to save some time. Alright, the next thing we need to look at how to do is on page 1-48 at the bottom. It talks about making changes to slide text content. And so just like we learned how to do in Word, how to edit text in Word, you can also basically use the same methods in PowerPoint to edit your text. Alright, so what we're going to do is move to slide 3, and what we want to do here is position the mouse pointer immediately to the right of the last character of text to be selected in the title text placeholder, in this case the S in the word facilities. Okay, on page 1-46, what we want to do is we want to change the order of a couple of the slides in our presentation. So we're going to click on slide 3 and the slide 3 thumbnail in this slides tab, and we're going to drag it below the last slide so that slide 3 now becomes slide 4. Okay, so we're just changing the order of the last two slides. Alright, and just kind of check to make sure you have the correct order. You can look at the picture there on page 1-46 and see the obedience classes slide should be the last slide now in your presentation. The grooming facility should be your third slide. Okay. Alright, then what we're going to do is click the save button to save the changes that we've made to our presentation. And the next couple of pages just show you how to close out of an existing presentation, how to close out of PowerPoint, and then reopen the file. To save some time, I'm going to skip over that. Alright, on page, the bottom of page 1-48, it talks about making changes to the slide text content. You basically can edit text in PowerPoint the same way that we learned how to do it in Word. Alright, so that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to click on slide 3, and we're going to make a change to the title text. We're going to edit some of the title text on slide 3. So what we're going to do is drag through the word facilities in the title, and we're going to press delete to delete that text. Alright, and then press the space bar and then type in the word services. So now instead of reading as grooming facilities in the title, it should now read grooming services. Okay, so grooming facilities to grooming services. Alright, so just make sure that you've made that change as you see it there on the bottom of page 1-49. And then on page 1-50 it wants us to change the theme colors. Alright, so we're going to click the Design tab up on the ribbon, and we're going to click the More button in the Variants group. So a lot of these designs, these themes in PowerPoint also have variants of each theme that you can choose from. And you'll notice the variants gallery is to the right of the themes gallery. So what we're going to do is click the down arrow, which is the More button, to the right of the variants box there. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the colors that are available on our theme. So to do that, we're going to click the Colors button here, or point to it. Alright, we're going to point to the Colors button, and then we're going to change the colors in the Colors gallery to yellow-orange. So you're going to scroll through the list of colors till you find yellow-orange and click on yellow-orange to change the colors for the theme. Okay? And you'll notice what used to be blue colors on this slide 1 now changes to kind of a brown color, and you'll also notice some other color changes on your slides. Alright, so just kind of make sure you get that yellow-orange color setting changed. Alright, on the bottom of page 1-51, we're going to learn how to add notes to our slides. A lot of times presenters using PowerPoint to present to an audience will add notes to certain slides that they can then print out and use as a way to remind them of things that they need to cover when that slide is on the screen that they're showing to the audience. And so that's what we're going to do here. Alright, so what we're going to do is click the Notes button down on the status bar. Alright, so down here on the status bar on the right hand side where you see the Notes button, you're going to click on that, and it'll just add the Notes pane to normal view. And you'll notice there's a little kind of an additional pane in the normal view window now, and it shows a message there to click to add notes. And so we're going to make sure we're on slide 3, and we're going to click where it says click to add notes there in the notes pane, and we're going to type in what's shown on step 2 on the bottom of page 1-51. So we offer quality dog and cat grooming services performed by our experienced pet stylist. We will pamper your pet with a bath, nail trimming, and ear cleaning. Services vary in price based on the animal's breed and size. Just make sure as you're typing that note text that you're typing it correctly. Make sure you're spelling everything correctly. Alright. And once you've got that done, then we're also going to add some notes to slide 4. So we're going to move to slide 4 and click down on the notes pane where it says click to add notes and type in what's shown there on the top of page 1-52. So we're going to type in obedience, training is fun and rewarding for your dog, and for you. Our classes focus on essential commands and socialization. Alright, again, just make sure you get all that typed correctly. Alright, and then the next couple pages show you how to check spelling in PowerPoint. You basically check spelling in PowerPoint the same way that we learned how to do it in Microsoft Word earlier in the semester. So because you should already know how to use the spell checker, I'm going to go ahead and skip over those pages. You can just work through that on your own. Alright. The next thing that it discusses in the text in the module is on page 1-55. It talks about the different views, and I kind of went over this a little bit in the first part of this video, first half of the module. The default view in PowerPoint, the view that we're in right now, is normal view, which you can kind of look down here on the status bar. There are 3 view buttons down here. The first one is normal view, and it's selected. That's the view that we're in right now. That's the default view in PowerPoint. But you also have a slide sorter view, which is that second button. And then you also have a reading view, which is the third button. And it talks about all that on page 1-55. Alright, so to change views on the bottom of page 1-55, it wants us to move to slide 1. So we're going to click the slide 1 thumbnail on the slide tab. And then it wants us to click the slide sorter view button, which is that second button on the view button bar down on the status bar. Okay, and it shows the 4 slides that we've created. And slide sorter view a lot of times is used to just view all the slides in your presentation on one screen, and also it allows you to very easily drag and drop slides into place like we did earlier. You can reorder your slides if you need to in slide sorter view. Alright, then it wants us to click on the reading view button. And the reading view just basically shows the large version of your slide in the window on your screen, so that it's easy to read the slide. And that's a view that you can use to just check your spelling, check various aspects of your slide to make sure they're correct. Alright. And once you've looked at those different views, then on the bottom of page 1-56, it shows us how to start slideshow view. So what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and click the end show button. So you're going to right click on the slide and then click on end show, and that just takes you back to the view that we were in before we went into reading view. And then you're going to click on the normal view button to switch back to normal view. Alright, and then what it wants us to do next is learn how to actually view the slideshow the way that it will be presented to your audience. Alright, so to do that, you're going to make sure that slide 1 is selected, and then you're going to, up on the quick access toolbar, there's a button there called Start from Beginning. You're going to click on that, and it will basically open up what's called Slideshow View, and it will start your presentation from slide 1. And then to navigate through the slideshow, to progress from one slide to the next, you're just going to click on the slide. And this is basically what the view that you would be in when you're presenting your presentation to your audience, so that they can see just the slide that you're presenting and not the background of the software. Okay, and so you just keep clicking on the slide until you progress all the way through the slideshow. You'll see a black slide after you click on the last slide, and then when you click on the black side, it'll return you back to normal view. Alright, on page 1-59, it wants us to save this presentation with a different name. So just like we've learned in previous modules this semester, when you want to save a file with a different name, what you have to do is click the File tab up on the ribbon, so go ahead and do that, and then click on Save As, and then click the Browse button. Alright, we're going to type in what's shown on step 3 on page 1-59 under Saving and Printing Files. You're going to type in SC underscore PPT underscore 1 underscore pets in the file name box. Alright, just make sure you get that typed correctly, and then you're going to click the Save button. Okay, and then the last part of the last few pages of the module just kind of give you some additional information on, for example, how to print your slides. Of course, we're not actually printing the slides in the presentation, so I'm going to skip over that for this demonstration, but you can go through it at home if you want to on your computer to see how that works. But basically, this finishes up this module. So before you actually submit this in Ozarka, you'll just need to go through each slide, view each slide, and make sure that you have all of the text correct on the slide, all the formatting correct, the pictures inserted correctly, size correctly, and positioned correctly. The slides that had notes, make sure that those notes are correct. And that finishes up this module. Once you get all that corrected, you get your presentation looking like the examples in the textbook, you'll go ahead and upload it into Ozarka, and just kind of let me know if you have questions. Thank you.